Hey guys, it's Emma. Today I'm talking about Coprolalia, Copropraxia, and Coproskepsi. The most common one you've probably heard of is Coprolalia, because the media tends to portray Tourette's as solely Coprolalia, when in reality, a Tourette's syndrome diagnosis requires 2 or more motor tics and 1 or more vocal tic. Yeah. There are a lot of statistics out there that kind of differ a little bit, not too much, about how many people with Tourette's syndrome actually have Coprolalia. But the main statistic that I've seen is around 10%. It could be a little bit higher than that, a little bit less than that. That's just what I've seen for the most part. So that means around 90% of people with Tourette's syndrome do not have Coprolalia. But people do tend to jump in and say, oh my god, not all people with Tourette's swear, oh my god. This is very true, but we should not be saying it in a way that makes it seem like Coprolalia is this really bad thing. You can certainly educate about Coprolalia without condemning it. If you're like me and don't really experience Coprolalia, you need to remember that people with Tourette's syndrome do still experience it. So when someone asks you if you swear and you don't as a tic, maybe don't make it sound like Coprolalia is this out of this world horrible thing. I personally do not have Coprolalia. Oh, I just poked it in a little heart. I personally do not have Coprolalia, but I have had swearing tics over the years where I've had to swear under my breath. Especially when I was in elementary school, I had to say the F word under my breath for a little bit. It was not a tic that stuck around for very long though. So I don't like to say that I have Coprolalia, you know? Well, let's get into it. First of all, we'll talk about Coprolalia. Coprolalia is the utterance of obscenities, whether this be curse words or socially inappropriate remarks. Usually this swearing is completely out of context. I've also noticed with a lot of people who say tics as words or shout tics as words that it's usually at a different volume and said in a different way, so you can usually tell that it's a tic, but not all the time. The number one important thing to keep in mind is that those who are uttering these obscenities and have Coprolalia cannot help it. I'm sure that you've heard that people with Tourette's syndrome can suppress tics. For me, I can only do it for a few seconds and then it just all comes out, and usually comes out a bit worse than if I had not waited to do it. Suppression is painful and asking someone to suppress is not a good idea. Have some compassion and remember, if you tell someone to stop ticking, you're wasting your time. Moving on to Copropraxia. Copropraxia involves complex motor tics that are obscene gestures. Gestures? I always get that mixed up, as in I just get that wrong. Examples of Copropraxia tics include giving the finger or grabbing genitalia. To put it really simply, Copropraxia is the motor tic version of Coprolalia. Now, Coproskepsi. I don't know if I say that right. I hope I do. This is the mental form of Coprolalia. I will say that this is a thing that I definitely experience. Basically, this means that the person is thinking out obscenities as a tic. As you can imagine, Coproskepsi can be really distracting and disruptive to normal thought processes. I personally do experience Coproskepsi. I have multiple curse words go through my brain as a tic. Alright, are you ready for the bonus round? Coprographia. Coprographia is the involuntary creation of vulgar writings or drawings and or drawings, writings and or drawings, yes. This can be done through using a writing utensil or typing. I've seen examples of the typing version of this quite a bit. Although I do also have typing tics, I do not have any Coprographia typing tics. My typing tics are more like spacebar, 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 backspace, or hold down spacebar, backspace type tics. When you're part of a Tourette's Discord, it's really hard to avoid Coprographia because those typing tics can really get amped up, especially if someone else has Coprographia tics and you see them typing things into the Discord, then that might trigger your Coprographia. Anyway, that's the Copro tics. Feel free to like, feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, and have a wonderful, beautiful day, and also remember to support Black Touretters by signing petitions, donating, and sharing information. Thanks, Twitches! Bye!